Right, what have we got today? Boosh. Well, it's quite boring, some might say. It's just a tape measure. But it's a tape measure which I use. Now, hang on, TrailTrek. How can you use this if it's still in the pack? Well, I bought another one. Here's the other one. Here's one that I've used for quite some time. I've used this around the house and for various jobs, and I thought I'll replace the crap one I've got at work with one of these because I know that they work, and that's why I bought another one. Both of these bought with my money. Anyway, so in fact, I'll show you this one. I'll keep that in the pack so I can show you how it'll come in a retail pack. So in a retail pack, the clip is attached here at the bottom of this awful clamshelly thing, which is probably too big, but there you go. So it has a 3.4 meter standout, and there's the bits and pieces, blah blah blah. But I'll go through all of that, don't worry, and I'll show you what all these features mean. So here it is here, and I've done this in 4K, highest bit rate I can get away with, so you can get a nice, clear, clean view of it. So I'll rotate this whilst I talk about it, and I'll explain. This is a 5 meter model. There are a shorter model and a longer model, and this is magnetic. It has a finger stop, and you can attach a lanyard here if you wanted to, and it's a very basic but very functional, and I would say a pretty good clip on this. But I'll try and make this quick. I'll try and make this clip quick, but it never is it? And there's the measurements on the back there, held together by, as you can see, Phillips, and a Phillips. So if you want to dismantle it and get dust and concrete bits out, you probably could do that if you were careful. And it does have a stop system. So what is the model number on this if you were looking for this? Well, it's over here, but I'll read it out. It's a right mouthful. It's 4932464599. So they must be running out of numbers. They're going to have to start adding letters, I think, to shorten things down a little bit. But anyway, so this is by Milwaukee. I use a lot of Milwaukee stuff, but that doesn't mean I'm a fanboy. I will get whichever one is best for me. And I realise there'll be people out there saying, well, I like the Milwaukee one. I like the Stanley Fat Max. Yeah, I've got a couple of Fat Max things, and they're great. I'm not a fanboy. I will buy whatever works best for me. So if you can stick down in the comments below which one you use, help everyone out here on the channel, and let someone pick the one that's best for them. So it's a 5 meter one, this one. Like I say, there's a shorter one and a much longer one. 5's more than enough for me. It was perfectly fine. And you know, how much more do I need for what I use? It's got a nice end clip there, so it will clip over to stuff, and it does have one of these holes that you can stick it on a screw. You know, if you get the screw head, and it'll click on, and then you can just pull it out like that. So I appreciate the fact they've added that. And on this one, you do have the added feature of magnetics. So for the magnetic, in other words, if you have a magnetic material or a material that will be attracted to a magnet, it will attach. Boom, brilliant, very strong. Look, that's just a standard bit. That isn't magnetic itself. Look, it's so strong I can use the bit to retract that, no problem. So very, very strong magnet. I've been extremely impressed with that. No matter what surfaces I've used that on, it's been very good. It does come with an anti-tear coating. However, they say it's got an anti-tear coating, but it's only the first 15 centimeters. So if you're looking for it, you think, well, where's the anti-tear? So let's get a close look at this. So you can see there is something of, I mean, it's a printed one, and then it doesn't have a coating over the top that I can detect on the metal there. But if you turn it over, you will notice, you see this shininess. Watch, the shininess stops. In fact, you can see there, because this one's had some use, so the dirt has come up against the end of this. So the first, I think it's 15.2 is their quote, is protected, because that's the bit that's going to get the most wear. And especially when it snaps in and then it goes off here. And I wish they'd redesign these a bit more so it doesn't scratch. And on some of them you'll notice, I mean, you can go to reviews of most tape measures, and the cheaper ones, the blinking things come off, and it's a right nightmare, because you think, well, there's nothing wrong with it functionally, but I can't read the damn thing, so that's annoying. There's a nice bend in this, well, bevel or bend or whatever you want to call it, from the side there, so it gives you good standout. Now what is standout? Well, standout is how much you can pull that out, pull it out before it goes clink and falls to the ground. Now they are quoting, I think off the top of my head, a 3.4. It does say some, yeah, they are quoting a 3.4 standout. So what I did was, I mean, I've never had a problem with standout in that, because I don't use too much. I'm not doing that, you know, architectural stuff. But I held that at a 45 degrees. So if you imagine I'm stood here, 45 degrees, and I carefully retracted. I got to about 3.2, just over 3.2, almost to 3.3 meters. So I didn't get quite to that. I'm just being honest, but that is their claim. Maybe my angle was slightly off, but it does droop at a specific point, and it will eventually drop, and that's just what you've got to do. So that's why you've got the magnetic, and that's why you've got the little hook there. So you can use that if you need to. It's impact resistant. They are claiming it's impact resistant, but I've never really dropped this. It's a decent weight, you know. It's a decent sort of well-made manufactured thing. You do have a lot of tape in there, but they do have, it's a sort of composite. So you have the normal plastic, which does have a texture. You can hear that nice grippy texture, but then on top of that, on these high points, you have like a rubberized texture. And I'll put my thumbnail in. You see the thumbnail going in there, and it's left a bit of an indent. Very tough wearing though. It's never really come off. So any high points, so here, and here, will take the impact. Although obviously that is going to be more prominent than that, so that's going to bash up a little bit. But if you notice, it can, watch, see, it goes up to that height. Get it to focus there, sorry, see? So if it does, it's going to hit that and then hit that. So in that regards, I'm fine. The only difference you'll notice is rubberized. This looks rubberized, but it isn't. I wish this was a bit rubberized. It looks to me like the same plastic as this. So when you first look at it, you think, okay, well, any point, the rubberized is going to hit first. This is actually a hard plastic. I don't know why they've done that, but just something to bear in mind. But I've never had any problems. But I haven't just thrown it around at every single possible angle, have I? Like a hockey puck. It does have finger stop, which I think is a massive thing. So instead of having to do that and then that, or do that and then partially hold it, and you don't get it quite right, you just use the finger stops. You just retract and hold, retract and hold, retract and hold, and then when you want to let it back in, that finger comes up, bang, and it works just like that. So it's basically open. They call it finger hold, and then by friction, you are keeping it there. Friction, and then it comes back, click. Very nice. So that does work. It's a two-sided print. So there's your other one. Bear in mind, I have gone for the metric here. If you want a standard American English SAE version, other versions are available. So both sides printed there. Same, it's in centimeters here. And then you've got your meters. Boom, 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 boom. And then you do have, I was going to say agricultural scale there, so for farmers, but no, it does have an architectural scale there, so you can just get a nice look at that. There's the almost the full of it in the frame there, so you can have a look. Other than that, other features, it doesn't seem to go any further on there. So anti-tear coating, first 15 centimeters only. Impact resistant, not proof, just bear that in mind. Does have the finger stop, which I highly rate. It's magnetic, which I think is quite important. That's a feature which, if you haven't got it, well, for me anyway, if I don't have that, I do miss it, so I think that's quite important. It's got a decent standout because you have this thick metal and it is slightly beveled, so you do get it. I mean, I got 3.2, almost 3.3 meters. They are claiming slightly longer than that. It may vary on the manufacturer. And the clip. Now, the clip, at first I thought, that looks rubbish. What's going on here? Because most clips are a solid piece of metal. And then when I came to use it, I had no problems. On belt, it's great. It's dead tough. Look, I'm using quite a bit of strength there. It's very tough. It doesn't come off. It actually works pretty good. I was worried when I thought, are they just trying to save metal here and rip everyone off? But no. This retainer here is using a Phillips there. Sorry, it's not focusing there. And it worked perfectly. It almost worked perfectly on a belt that I've got. It worked perfectly on a tool bag that I've got. And more importantly for me, it worked absolutely fine on a Vito Pro. And on the Vito Pros, you have a clip which is specifically for this sort of thing. It fitted in no problem. It certainly wasn't coming out until I ripped it off there. Brilliant. So very happy with that. So, I mean, I've used this for, well, I must have had this one for nearly a year. So that's why I bought a new one, which will be for work. This has everything I want. Anti-tear, just at the start anyway. Impact resistant, finger stop, which I can't live without now. Magnetic, which I can't live without now. And it's a decent standout. And the clip for me is brilliant. So marks out of 10 for me on this very, very quick review. I've tried to make this quick, and I will probably give this a, I mean, it's fine, it does the job. It's not very exciting, but I'll give it a 9. No problems with it. And like I say, bought that with my money, so I'm not here trying to sell you something. If you think that's a load of rubbish, or you've got one that you prefer, or there's some really good bargains, stick it down below. Help each other out here. I want people to get some good kit there. But for me, spot on. Very happy with that. I'll give you another close-up of it as I rotate it. There you go, but no problems with it so far. That finger stop's nice and wide as well, especially when you have gloves. Some of the finger stops you end up having to, like, I mean, I'm quite a big guy and I've got big hands. That's big. I like a decent one. So, I mean, even my thumb can fit in there, look. See? My whole thumb's in there. So, decent, well made and well thought out. Decent piece of kit. Right, thank you for joining me. I will let you get on with your day now. So this is the Milwaukee, take a deep breath, 4932464599. I feel like I'm, reading out coordinates for a bomb strike or something, but come on, they're getting a bit long, these numbers now. But the Milwaukee magnetic standout, very good. I think there are other models without the magnetic, and there's one called a stud and all things like that, but this is just the one that I use. So thank you, and I hope you have a good day. Goodbye.